Okay, so I figured I'd do something a little bit different tonight and show you guys a little bit more of the detail of how these matches work so you can get an idea how this goes. For some reason, my camera didn't record audio tonight, so I tried watching them without anything in the background. It's really weird. So as we go through here, I'll just put music over the background while the video the POV is happening, and then we'll come back to here. But anyway, so we'll start. I'm going to show you kind of a breakdown of each of the stage with all the instructions and everything, and then we'll watch each video kind of as I go through here. I had a decent match tonight. I finished I finished 20th overall out of like 220 shooters. Which is okay. It's a decent finish and not my best, but a good one. But I did win my classification, so I'll break that down for you here in a little bit so you can kind of see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to share here. So these are the instructions that we get as we get to each stage. And the nice thing is they do email these out to us the day before the match. So we do get to look at them a little bit. Things change every now and then, but this gives you an idea kind of what we're looking at. So there's 4 stages and there's 4 groups shooting at a time, 4 squads shooting at a time. So you just shoot your stage and then you move and everybody rotates once all the shooters are done. So I always start on stage 2 just because the squad I typically sign up in, and that's kind of where we start, and then I'll rotate. So I'll show these in order of how I shot them. You can see here it says start position. There's feet touching starting stick facing down range. So there was a right about here or somewhere. There was a stick mounted on the ground that you had to have your feet touching before you could take off. And the layout you'll see on the video is a little bit different from the way it looks here. Once it's 3-dimensional, these like C and A are only a couple steps apart. So the way it all laid out, it made sense for me to start here and go to B first. So I went to B, C, A, and then D. So in B, it's just 2 hits on each of the 4 squares. From C, it's knocked down these 6 plates. From A, knocked down these plates. And then I busted up to D, where I shot 1 here, 2 on each of the squares, and 1 on each of the circles there. That's the stage. So we'll pause for a second. We'll go watch that video and be right back. Okay, so then on to stage 3 for me, or stage 2 for me. 3 is the stage of the match. This one, you start with your firearm laying on the table, muzzle down range, loaded on safety, and this is a standing position behind the table. And then I think you had your wrist below the belt. So I think on the previous one it was like a hand up for surrender position. So anyway, the buzzer goes off, you pick up the firearm and engage the targets from there. Um, as we came up to this stage, we got to watch the last couple of shooters in the squad before us. I think there were 3 shooters, and all 3 of them had a penalty on this first station of the stage here. These Texas stars, as they're called, when you shoot these plates, this star starts to rotate. Okay. So typically what you want to do is you want to shoot these pretty quickly in a way where there's minimal rotation because all the targets are steady. And the last 2, if you shoot it wrong, that last one can really be moving and it can be a tough target to hit. So typically what you want to do is make it move as little as possible. And most shooters are just fast enough so that last, as the target settles, the last circle you're hitting off the star is usually facing straight down. You can see this big red popper right in front here. You're not allowed to shoot it. If you hit that, it's a penalty. It's a 5-second penalty. If you leave one of the plates anywhere, you miss a target and you never make up that shot, you also, it's a 5-second penalty. So 2 of the shooters we saw, one hit the red plate, so that's a penalty. Another one, or no, the other two, this final plate on the star came to rest directly behind this target, and there's not a good, safe way to lean out far enough to hit that plate, and so both of them had to leave it. Anyway, from this position, you get all 5 stars here, and you'll see I shoot this a little differently because I saw their mistakes. So what I ended up doing is I actually shot this in a funny order to make the thing rotate more than I normally would, so that I wouldn't get trapped behind that red popper. Once you've shot these 2 poppers in the star, bust it over here. 2 hits on each of these squares, 1 hit on each of the circles. From box D up here in the front, 2 hits on each of these 4 squares. And then from box C, it was 2 hits on the side squares and 4 hits in the taller one in the middle. So we'll watch that video real quick and be right back. Okay, for stage 4, this one's just a matter of memorizing a pattern that repeats in mirror. So from box A here, it was 1 hit on each of the squares, so it's 8 shots, and it's a pretty wide field of view. You'll see in the video you're swinging quite a bit to hit all those targets. You'll notice these 4 squares in the middle as they're squares on paper here. They're actually really tall, narrow rectangles, so a little bit tougher to hit 2 hits on those when we get to the later parts of the stage here. 1 hit on each of the squares, came to box B, 2 hits on the first box, 1 hit on each of the circles, 2 hits here, and then moved on to C where you hit the 2 circles and then 2 hits on each of these rectangles, and then it's a mirror image from there. 2 hits on the rectangles, 1 on the circle, and then from the final box, it's 2 hits on each of these squares and 1 hit on each of these circles. And then on to what was my final stage. This was actually my best run of the night, which I hope is a good sign of things. This was my first time shooting with this new rifle, and so it was nice to have this be one of my fastest stages. I think I ranked 9th overall. No, sorry, 11th. I was 11th overall on this stage, which is nice. So it's definitely my fastest stage in comparison to the rest of the shooters, and my speed on this stage, you'll see when we get to the rankings. This stage is why I won my my classification tonight, won my division. So from box A, it's 2 hits on these squares, 4 hits on the circles, so there's 8 shots here. Move into box B where it was 2 hits on T2, 4 hits here on one on each of the circles, and then 2 hits on this one. And then again, mirror image from C, it's 2 hits, 4 hits, 2 hits. And then from D, it's 2 hits, 2 hits, and 4 hits. Pretty quick stage. I think I did this one in just over 15 seconds. And yeah, that's the match. Once we're done there, we'll go look at practice score a little bit. Okay, so here's practice score. This is where all the scores come up. Um, and so you can see here I am ranked 20th. There were 220 some odd shooters, so 20, 200 and 219 shooters on the day. And I was number 20, so top 10%, not horrible, not my best showing, but not bad. Especially with a rifle I hadn't shot in competition before, so I felt pretty good about that. Um, in my classification, which I'm a B class shooter, I was the top shooter there. You can see this Chris. I beat him by I don't know Chris, but I beat him by less than a second. So again, that last stage kind of saved my tail on that. And then you can break it down here as well. I shoot pistol caliber carbine, so there's the PCC, and in that classification B, um, I was I was the first shooter there, and then overall with all classes, I was number 9 in PCC. Grandmaster. There's an A. So there's Jensen, Max Jensen. I'm coming for you, buddy. So I think this was my second win in B class. And so one more win, and I'll move up to A classification, and I'll be hot on his heels. So I'm excited to kind of chase Max there, see how that goes. But yeah, that's how all that works. It's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the video, got a little bit more insight how everything lays out. And yeah, I'll be gone next week, but 2 weeks from now I'll shoot another video, and hopefully I'll get the audio thing figured out on these glasses. I don't know what the deal was, so hopefully you'll get to hear all the dings on the steel instead of listening to cheesy elevator music. See you guys.